Hello, everyone. This is Thomas Pepin NHL Talk. I'm Thomas Pepin, and let's talk about the NHL. So today, we're gonna continue the Maximizing NHL Draft Pick Value series. Three parts. This is the second part, and we will be looking at draft pick market trade value. Um, so yesterday we considered the performance of draft picks in a 10-year time frame. Uh, and so that gave us an idea of anticipated production that you'd get out of the draft picks. And then today we want to contrast that. Well, we won't actually contrast it, but we're going to take a different perspective and consider how much a draft pick is worth from a trade perspective. So there's one from the performance of the players, and then there's also from the performance of the players you can get in return for those draft picks, if that makes sense. So, so we'll be looking at that from past trades. I don't know in particular exactly how I'm going to structure this. As always, this is done on the spot, no prep work except for the subject. So, exactly how I'm going to record it for purposes of measuring, I don't know yet. So, we will have a look. The one thing we're going to have to do is try to get 1-for-1 trades. And I don't know if even that's going to really give us a good idea. But in any case, at the very least, that's what we're going to have to do. So I'm going to make a spreadsheet to record things. So at the very least, what I can do is record the player that's traded for the draft pick, what they produce. I don't know if that's really going to, how exactly that's going to benefit us, but that's what first comes to mind. Okay. All right, so I think I can share screen now. So yeah, I guess essentially what I'm gonna have to do is go through all the trades individually and find ones that line up with what we're trying to do. So, so a second round pick. So we have a 1-for-1 with Nino Niederreiter. I guess we'll use... What's that? Oh, it's because it probably has... Actually, that doesn't make sense. But anyways, we'll have to leave it blank, I guess, because that's the structure they have. So... Because essentially what we did is the 5-year value of a draft pick. So I think that's what we'll have to do. I think that's the only thing that makes sense. Oh, there's another column. Oops. Good, it all lines up. That's good news. And then we need these. That doesn't line up. Okay, so if we get the total of these, paste these back here. Delete all these. We want 20, 22, 23. I think we'll leave the format for now because we're going to have to copy and paste other ones. Delete this. I think that makes the most sense for us to contrast. I think it's as close as we can do in the time that I'm going to allocate, that is. Future considerations. No. Fourth round pick. That's this year. Oh, but we don't want to do that yet, so we want Wait, or was it 1 year remaining? I need a writer is okay. I think that's good. Then we want Magna. Holy jeez, what a mess. Okay, well, let's do it this way instead then. 3, 4, 5. Cool. Then we have Magna. He has 1.3 remaining. Cool. One, two, three, 4, 5. This one's not so bad. And Ryan Reeves. He has 0.3. First and fourth for... Oh, we don't want to do goalies. Third and fourth. Connor Brown for a second. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five. Delete. Connor Brown. And he had, that was made in July, so that means 1 season. Cool. Signing rights, we don't want to do those. No, no. Signing rights, no. No. So him we can do. So that's the 4th pick. Do. Oops. And that was 1 year. Those. Hey, Caleb. Tyler Mott. When was the trade deadline? So that would have been after the season? Wait. You love my lives, so thanks. I try. Well, this is a great example of doing work, and I mean, it's not so exciting to watch me do work, but it's all necessary for this stuff. And yeah, go ahead with your question once it allows you to ask. Sorry for the delay, but I have to do that for like spammers and stuff. Trade deadline is March 21. So it must have been on the... Yeah, it was the deadline. So then that's whatever would have been left. When was that again? Olivier was... June, so that was essentially the full season. Food and game. So I need to ask you a question. When you say game, do you mean video game? And then food, man, that's tough. Probably Indian food. I really love Indian food. I don't know if that's my favorite. I love a whole bunch of food. So Indian, Thai, Japanese. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff. But if I had to choose, it's probably Indian. I think. And then yeah, let me know about what you mean by game. So when was that signed? September. So if that was... So it was just for the end of that season, I think. It was 4th round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, but I can't include that one. Wait, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't screw this up. Video game. What's my favorite video game? I don't really play, to be honest, any games. I used to play... Sorry, I'm trying to work and think at the same time. It's not so easy. So when I was younger, I used to play NHL all the time. I don't know if you've heard of Counter-Strike. So it's a first-person shooter. I used to love that in high school. I mean, most of the games, if I do play, they're all going to be sports-based. So I had NCAA football. I used to love playing that. Yeah, mostly sports. FIFA. I like FIFA. I had a racing wheel. Played some racing games, but yeah, I think that's most of my favorites. Favorite hockey team is Jets, Winnipeg Jets hat. growing up, I was a Gretzky fan, so I used to cheer for any team he was on. In Montreal, I kind of like them too because of Patrick Waugh, but um, yeah. I should say, how about you? Let me know about your stuff. And well, I think you know what I mean. Favorite food and all that stuff. The same things you asked me, but same for you. So what was this? That was point three. Carpenter was a fifth. Oh, and I should say, otherwise, uh, Caleb, thanks for chatting and stuff. This is a whole, I mean, eventual goal is where, yeah, I'm, working and stuff, but, well, preferably what it'd be is everybody in the chat can kind of chat with each other. Um, so then it's not just boring me doing work and all that stuff. But we need to have more people for it to actually function that way. But so, anyways, so thanks, Caleb, for tuning in and chatting and stuff, because that's what the goal is supposed to be with the channel during my live streams, at least. Um, yeah. So NHL 23 salads. Best YouTube ever. I don't know about that. I appreciate the compliment, but I have a long way to go to be really any good. The one thing, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but it's, I think, pretty cool that I can do. Whoops, did I screw that up? Sorry, one sec. No, that was right. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that I can work on the spot, try to answer these questions on the spot. I think that's kind of unique and pretty cool, but I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not the best YouTuber. Again, I appreciate the compliment, but I think that's too nice. And when you say salads, what kind of salads are you talking about? That would have been point three. I think another thing I should be considering in this is the cost of the player, but I mean, there's so many different factors. I can't consider all of them at once. or just trying to get general ideas, I guess. So, anyways, something I was just thinking about here. That was 0.3 as well. Okay. So not that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I asked about the salads, you said you don't know which salads. Uh, and then otherwise, that's cool. That you make videos. What kind of videos do you make? I haven't checked, and to be honest, I mean, no offense to you, but I won't really have much time to check. Uh, my YouTube work is I show up, do my stuff, disappear. I don't really do much else like browsing other people's stuff. So sorry, but uh, yeah, just being honest. Oh, that's cool. So it's just kind of like a review channel, I guess you could say. You kind of like talk about what they talk about, kind of thing, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was a fifth round pick, and that was a third, I said. So he was traded for the rest of that year, which is a third. Oh, I should say I meant to say earlier when you said about you liking salads. My favorite salad is anything with pesto, basically. So either the sun-dried tomato pesto or the regular pesto. Then you mix it in with lettuce and whatever other stuff you want to do. Um, I really enjoy it. I don't have it too often, but usually what I'll do is pesto, feta, tomato, lettuce. What else would I put in there? Olives. Basically, I think that's about it. But anyways, I really like pesto and any salad with pesto. I like a whole bunch of salads, but I mean, like I like any, I like so much food in general. So I mean, you can't. It's hard for me to name any. Well, it's more. It's probably easier for me to choose things I don't like than mention all the things I do like because I just love so much food. Fourth round. One thing I'm thinking here is I might have to cut it short in terms of how many of these players I look at, because I think what I'll do is maybe take like an average of maybe 5 players per pick round, something like that, and talk about it, because if I do this, I could do this forever. So anyways, yeah, so I think that's what the plan's gonna be. Sorry, one sec here, Caleb. Sorry, it restricted your comment there. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't really shout out outside of what I'm doing here, and they'll see your comment in the comments there. So, yeah, if anybody's interested, have a look at Caleb's stuff. I hope that's okay. That's the best really I can do. I mean, I don't really share things on social media or anything, so I hope that's all right, Caleb. And I get to talk about you this whole time because you're the only one interacting. So I think that's enough advertising for you as it is, in my opinion, at least. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, the other thing I just realized is that we don't have full seasons for all these players. Man, this is not this is not a perfect science at all. That's all right. It's the best I can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, Caleb, it restricted your message again. Yeah, like I mentioned, I don't really have much time to view other people's stuff, so my apologies. I won't be able to go have a look. Yeah, like I said, my YouTube stuff, I show up, I do the work, and then, well, I'll post my stuff that I do on my Twitter, and that's basically all I do. Yeah, so my apologies. No, I won't be able to go check out your stuff. And I'm just being honest. I'm not going to go and lie to you and say, yeah, I'll go check it out. Don't take it as me being mean, because I'm not trying to be. This was March. So that would have had only that. That's the Mesnikov. So what do we have here? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fourth rounds. We'll do one more. Oh wait, I can't really do that yet, but too late. This one was just the remainder. And it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thanks, Caleb. I appreciate you watching. Like I said, I mean, when I say that I can't go have a look at your stuff, it's just literally I have a lot of things that I do, and I just don't have enough time to go check everybody's stuff. But yeah, I do appreciate you watching my stuff, and I mean, if if it hurts your feelings, you don't have to watch my stuff. You can be mad at me for it. I'm just being, like I said, I'm just being honest. Because, well, I do work outside of this, and all I really have time to do is to actually do this work. So, like I said, I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but I do appreciate you watching. That's for sure. Oh, one thing I was going to ask, Caleb, how long have you been posting on YouTube? Just out of interest. And if you can tell me if you know, or if you can check quickly how many videos you've posted in the amount of time that you've been on YouTube. I think I include this too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you just started posting today, is what you're saying? Zachary Sanford. One, two, three, four. Well, that's cool, man. Good luck. I mean, I started posting at the start of the season, and then I had to take a break because I had some other stuff to deal with. Didn't have any time to work on this, and then came back and started posting again. So I haven't been doing it for that long either. Still learning, still working. That's why when you say I'm the best YouTuber or whatever, like I said, I appreciate the compliment, but I haven't been doing this long. I'm still learning. Oh, you doing the video the channel just about me. I thought you meant like all your favorite YouTubers or whatever, and I thought you would have been doing it for a while. So I guess that's where I didn't quite know exactly what you were saying, but now I get it. Well, I mean, I appreciate you don't have to post videos just about me. It's nice of you, but you don't have to do that. I mean, if that is interesting to you, then cool. You can talk about, what I talk about and give your opinion. So, like, if you disagree, you can say how you disagree and all that kind of stuff. That would be cool. I mean, like I said, I won't be able to have a look, but I mean, for people that are interested, they can hear your thoughts about the same kind of stuff I talk about, and maybe they would be interested, like you're interested in my stuff. So it's not a bad idea, and you can come up with your own topics, or you can copy the same topics that I talk about. I think it's not a bad idea. This one was rental 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fifth round picks that we've looked at. This is going to take longer than I wanted. Oh well. Seems like I have a habit of biting off more than I can chew. So that was that year. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, one other thing I should say, Caleb, if I mean, as long as if you keep wanting to come and see my streams and chat, of course you can. Don't be shy. So if you do videos, and you can let me know in here, what you agree, disagree with. Don't be shy to do that, because that, like, I mean, as you can see, I'll interact with you and talk with you and stuff. I just don't have enough time to go to your stuff. So if you want to come in here and chat and say what you agree with, what you disagree with, and all that stuff, don't be shy. I mean, you can keep doing, like, if you're going to do your own videos and stuff, you can do that too. For me, because like I said, maybe other people will be interested. But yeah, if you want to say the same kind of stuff that you say in your videos here, then I can respond to them. And obviously I'll have time to do that, because that's the whole purpose of doing the live streams and having the chat open. So so if that makes sense, if that works with you, then I mean, it works with me. So one thing oh yeah, no problem if you got to go. I was going to ask you just if you play the GM mode on NHL, but yeah, maybe another time you can answer that question. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. He was a third round pick, and it was for the remainder of the year. So we only have 1 third round pick, 1 second round pick. We're done the 4th round picks, I think, good enough. We have 1, 2, 3, one more 5th round pick. Ugh. Torture. Justin Braun. Oh, thanks for answering about the GM mode. Yeah, if I was to buy the game, that's probably all I would play. And I really liked playing the be a pro, be a player. I forget what they call it. I used to always create myself and then play as if I was myself in the league. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was a 3rd round pick. Oh, I forgot to get his name. Where is he? Johan Larson. Oh, Caleb, one thing I can do, I'll subscribe to you, your channel. Like I said, I won't be able to watch your stuff. I just don't have enough time, but I'll subscribe just to help you, grow your thing there. I'll do that right after this stream once I'm done. As long as I don't forget. I'll try to remember to do that. Oh, yes, I did do that. Okay. Oh, when you said you were leaving, I thought you meant you were leaving like for good. You were like going away, but I guess you're just going away for a couple. That is 0.3. Cool. 1, 2. Fourth round, no. Second round pick. That was signing rights. Yeah, I won't use that then. How many did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already have 4th. Second round pick. So we have this here. Okay, and then this one was just the 1 year. Wedgwood, I can't do. So that was a second. We have 2/3. Whoops. So, oh no. Did it clear? Do I have to go find where I was? Yeah, I do. We were at Dermot. One, two, three, four. Oh, Caleb, if you're still there, did you do any videos yet, or are you just about to start doing videos? So this was 21, 22. So it was 0.3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I don't even have any. Oh God, I think this is gonna take way too long. Hmm. Now I don't know what to do. uh. I should keep going. Jeez. I didn't want to click on that. Maybe what I could do instead is, because we did that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth round pick. Sanford. Okay. So it's 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Three, 4, 5. Okay, that's raffle. Twenty 21. It was a 5th round pick. And it was for okay, so we're done the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4th round picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5th round picks. 1, 2, 3 3rd round picks. So we'll have to do two more. Third for third. Husso, Kit, Larson, Ron, Dermott. Did I do Hamonic already? No. Or did I do Hamonic? Could have sworn I did. Guess not. This was 2022. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. was a third, I believe. And that was 2022, which means he had 1 year remaining. March 2022. Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more third round pick. There he is. Oh, whoops, I forgot to take his name. This was '22. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was a third. We'll wait to do that. It was the end of his contract. Delorier. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've done our third, fourth, fifth. We need second round picks. No. 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 Can't do that one. Can't do that one. No. No. Can't do that one. 2 seconds. 7th. Signing rights doesn't work. Step in for a second. was that? That was 2020. So that's about half a season. 2020. And it would have been his last year on that. Okay. So then, oops, these three, these two. I tell you, it sucks. I thought this was going to be a short stream, but never is when I expect it to be. Okay, and this was 2021. Delete these. 0.3 in its step pan. Cool. So what's this situation? I guess he didn't have a contract? Or he was entry level. Anyways, I don't think it'll work. We're starting to get a bit far in the past for me to give or to use the information and consider it accurate, reliable, however you want to put it. Yeah, I mean, we're getting to like 4 years ago. So that's as much as we're going to do for second round picks. We have no firsts yet, and I doubt there's any picks, or sorry, any trades that involve just a first round pick for a player. I have a feeling there's going to be none. But we shall have a look just in case. And I'm kind of hoping that there aren't any, or not many of any of the rest of these things, just to save me from doing way more work. I welcome not having to go more in depth than I already have. First round conditional for Brady Skjee. So we got one. Just out of interest, I'm going to have a look to see if there's more. And the answer is no. So we're only going to have one. Our sample size is going to be one for first round picks. But you deal with what you got. So where was it here? So that was... Oh, one thing I forgot to see is for those picks, or sorry, for those trades, because they were COVID years. I don't know. Whatever. I'll leave it. So 2020 February would have been here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. And it was February 2020. I said February 2020 would have been 2020. What was that first? It was Brady Skidgee. I wonder how it's actually pronounced. I'm not going to look it up because it's just not worth it, but is it ski? I don't know. It's more fun to say it wrong. Okay, so we have first round picks, seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths. Let's try 6 now. Six. Signing rights. There's 1. Robert Egg. So it's 0.3. It was in 2022. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it was that. Oops. It was the 6th. Heg was expiring. And we need his name. 2021. He would have had 1 year left. Stevens. That's not what I want. Was April 12th. So I'm just marking those because I'm gonna go back and see about the deadline, because now I know it for Ben at least. But all right, so 6th round pick, Jordy Ben, and this was 2021. So it would have been about a third. One, two, three. Four, five. Plus this. Cool. And it was a third. Jordy Ben. So we got 3 6 rounds. Johansson's a goalie, right? Yeah. So that's a no. No. AHL player we won't do. Signing rights, no. And then I think we're getting too far in the past now. So that's it for 6. Let's check about those before I forget. 5th round pick was raffle. And that was, yeah, so it was the deadline. So that's fine. And then we want Pepin. Was December 2020. So what was going on at that point? December 2020 would have been the 2021 season. COVID, did it start then? January to July. January to July. And December would have been before the season, so that means essentially a full season. Okay. Cool. And then now I said I was done 6. And we're on to 7. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Yes. Value. March 2022. That's here. Oops. Delete. He was a 7th. So 3rd of the season. And that was Value. Oh, I guess I missed that one. Oh, it's because it had all the conditions. But anyways, I mean, we'll just assume that, I mean, they're trading under the assumption that the conditions are met, so. He's HL. No, 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 no. Signing rights isn't good. No. Gustafson, there we go. And then this was, that's the deadline that year. $2021. So that is just one season. 2021. This. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all he has. This one was, oh, did I change that? I'll go check. That was a 7. It was made 2020, 2021. And it was Gustafson. Okay, that was 2022. Oh, and did I mess that up too? Yes, I did. So that was 2021 as well. Okay, so Gustafson is done. Coburn. Uh, 25% of the games. That condition seems a bit like it's going to happen. How many 6th round picks have I done? I'm gonna do that for the 6th round because that's what it was. And when was this? 2020, 21. Okay, so we have we have another. Oh, and when was this again? 2021. So we have another 6th round pick to reference, which is great, but we were working on 7th round picks. Signing rights, no. AHL, no. 7th for 7th doesn't count. 5th, 7th, no. Plays in 70 games or earns 35 points in that season. How many points does he usually get? Lots of points. So I would say that that was likely to happen. It just didn't happen. That was made in September 2020. So that was before that season, so it's a full season. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is it not letting me? Whatever. Do it this way. 29. That goes here. This was a full season, I think. Yeah, so 1 full season. Bugstad. It was a 7th pick, I believe. Cool. Okay. No. 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 That's too old. So I think that's where we will end the data gathering. All right. Sort by pick Okay. So those. Some those. So we're nearly done this part. It's funny because I was going to talk about something else as well. But that's very easy to talk about. So yeah, anyways, this portion's nearly done. Okay. How do I do this part? Six. So that's for 5 years. How do I do this? Times that. One, two, three, four. Oh, that's why. Times that. Whoops. There we go. Does this work for the rest? No, it doesn't. Five. E6. E7. I think that's right. So we've got that divided by number of years times years remaining. That divided by that times years remaining. That divided by that times years remaining. Divided by that times years remaining. Cool, I think that's correct. Okay. So equals that divided by that divided times years remaining. this one is E12. Okay, divided by that times, so that should also be correct. That divided by 5. So I didn't actually need to do these because it doesn't work anyways. Okay, so we want equals that divided by that times that. Oops. That divided by that times that. Good. Equals that divided by that times. Oh, I don't need to do that. Whatever. That divided by that times that. That divided by that times that. Divided by that times divided by that times that. That's good. Sum those divided by 5. Divided by that. That. Five. Equals that divided by that times that. That divided by that. Times that. So this should be it once I'm done this last one. Won't let me do that. Okay, well, let's move these here then. Okay, so assuming I didn't screw up on these formulas. I'm just going to do a random sample and see. Four by four, five, five by four, then that divided by that. That. Okay, so again, not a perfect science, what I put together here. But as always, good enough is good enough sometimes. So we have a small sample size for some of these. So for example, the first round pick, we only have one example of where it's a 1-for-1 trade. First round pick for a player. Second round pick, best we could do is 4. We got 5 of the 5 we wanted for third, fourth, fifth. And then 6th and 7th, the best we could do is 4 again. So oh, and where was... Okay, yeah, it's this that I wanted. Now, just give me a sec. I also want freeze first row and first column. Okay, so now we've got an approximate value of each of these picks after all this work that I thought, like I said, I thought this was going to be very quick and straightforward. If I did it just kind of less scientifically than I did it, which wasn't perfectly scientific anyways, I could have just done anecdotal, and at least this has some sort of sample size where you can have an average. I mean, it's small. It's like 4, 5, 1 in the case of a first round pick. So, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. But, I mean, also, if you consider the fact that there's so few 1-for-1 trades, there isn't much that I could use as a sample anyways. So it's the best that you can do, and it's essentially the best that I did do. So so there's that. Now, one thing I'm going to do is pull up what we did yesterday so we can actually contrast with something. Where is it? Draft pick performance. All right, so I can show again now. So what we know is that a 5-year, is this right? I just want to make sure I'm not remembering incorrectly. these were divided by 5, right? Career is... Oh, yeah, because that's without... Okay. Just trying to remember exactly what I did. Okay, so then these are divided by 5. So these should be the actual per season expected performance. So, okay, so what we did here today is we took the 5-year performance of players traded for draft picks, divided it by those 5 seasons, and then multiplied it by the remaining term on their contract. So then it's to get the actual value that they're expecting to get. So for example, like if you trade for a player at the trade deadline, then in theory you should have approximately a third of the value of the player remaining. So that's what you paid the draft pick for. So let's say you traded for a player at the trade deadline for a 5th round draft pick, then the performance that they would produce for the rest of the season you paid a 5th round pick for the remainder of the season, and then if you oh god, my brain's gone fuzzy. Give me a sec to collect myself here. So I'm gonna have water. I tell you, this is what you get for staring at a screen so long, playing with so many numbers, and then losing track of actually what you were doing. Okay, you trade a 5th round pick. You're trading them for a third of the year. And then what we actually want to figure out is what it would be for the full year equivalent, basically, is what I think I'm trying to get at. And then we can compare apples to apples. So if you know what the expected full year performance is of a draft pick, which is what we did yesterday, and then you know what the full year, what technically would be the full year value of the trade that was made at like the draft, or at the trade deadline, then you know apples for apples what you're actually trading for. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. So, for example, if you're I think from giving an example, it's going to make more sense. So, in 2021-22, a team traded for Jeremy Lozon at the trade deadline. His 5-year performance was this. You divide it... Wait, no, maybe. I guess we're not doing what I just said we're doing. Okay, and then that's getting the value. Okay, well, anyways, we'll go from where I was starting, and then at least to illustrate with one person what the data is, and then we'll try to make sense of it after. I know what I did in structure made sense. I just have to actually make sense with words. Okay, so somebody traded a second round pick in 2021-22 for Jeremy Lozon. And they got a third of the year left, so that means it was done at the trade deadline. This is his 5-year, if he in fact did play 5 seasons, performance. We take that 5-year performance, divide it by 5 years, multiply it by what they're getting. So they're getting a third of a season, and then this is what they're actually getting for that second round pick. That does make sense. So essentially what we're actually getting here is the value of the pick, because we're taking the value for each player, totaling it, and then dividing it by the number of players that we're looking at. So that does make sense. Oh, hi, Chris Lee. Washington for getting Sandin. I didn't even know that trade happened yet, so thanks for the information. You learned something. I won't know the trades until I'm done this stream because I've been focusing on this stuff. And focusing so much that I can't even keep a straight thought. So, anyways, so then now I'm trying to figure out what I actually am comparing. The value they're getting compared to the pick, which would be the career value. So then they're paying substantially more, it's going to be. But anyways, okay, so I'll just demonstrate this again with another person to have this make sense of what I did, and then we'll be able to do the conclusions afterwards. So, Gustafson to Toronto. I also don't know about that information yet, Chris Lee. So, which Gustafson? I'm assuming it's the defenseman Gustafson from Washington. Oh, so yeah, that's what you're saying. So that's the trade between the two. So Toronto got Gustafson, and then Washington got Sandin, I guess. Well, I don't know for sure until I see the rest of the trade exactly what I think about it, but I don't know if I like that trade for Toronto. Anyways, I won't, even if you give me more information, I won't talk more about it because, to be honest, I just, I don't know enough about the full trade and all the rest of the stuff. And on top of it right now, I'm dealing with another situation. So appreciate the information, but can't really talk about it too much at the moment. So anyways, going back to what I was saying here, so we've got another example I'll show you. So somebody traded, where's another one we'll do? Actually, we'll go with what we have right here. So somebody traded a 4th round pick in 2022-23 at the beginning of the season for Matthew Olivier. And so in his past 5 seasons, his production was this in his past 5 seasons, assuming he played 5 seasons, which he, in this case, doesn't look like he did. Or if he did, he didn't play full seasons. So that's the 5-year value of that player. We take those amounts, divide it by the 5 years, and then multiply it by the remaining term, and then you get what you're actually trading for. So because it was at the beginning of the year, they're essentially trading for 21 games, two goals, 2 assists, and 4 points from this player, in theory, is what they're trading. And then again, like I said, if you take all the players that were traded for, so our sample size is in this case 5 fourth-round picks, you get the value that is being traded for divided by 5, you take the sum of those, divide it by 5, and then you get the equivalent or the approximate value for a fourth-round pick. So in this case, the value of a fourth-round pick was 22 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. So hopefully that makes sense. And then now, knowing this information, we can compare it to what we determined yesterday was the actual value of these draft picks. So for example, we have Brady Ski, Brady Ski, I think is how it's pronounced. I don't actually know. In this case, they got 4.5 years remaining, and the actual value they got was approximately 222 games, 15 goals, 65 assists, 80 points. We know that from yesterday, a first-round pick, their career value is approximately 247 games, 50 goals, 81 assists, and 131 points. So, in terms of the trade value, actually I should resize this to make it easier to look at. That's a lot better. So, in terms of trade value, they got approximately the same value of games played. Goals is a lot less, but he's a defenseman, so you have to factor in that you're probably paying for more than their production. The assists is not too far off. 81 assists versus, so here you can see 81 assists versus the 65, and 80 points versus the 131 points that you would expect the career value of a first round pick to be. So all things considered, the value that they got in trading that first round pick for Ski, or however it's pronounced, is probably really close to accurate. So they did as far as I could tell, and as far as I would argue, they had good value in that trade of what they compared to what they could have gotten for career value of a first round pick. So in this case, extremely small sample size, but the market value of a first round pick, again, very small sample size, just one example, was close to the, in theory, career value of the player. Now with second round picks, the value is here. The highlighted cells, I'll make this a bit bigger. So for a second round pick, the market value, in this case a small sample size, market value was 56 games, 13 goals, 18 assists, and 31 points for a second round pick is what the market value is. Now the career value of a second round pick is 148 games, 19 goals, 31 assists, and 49 points. So they're actually getting, I would argue, better value in the market right now for a second round pick than the expected career value. So reason being is you're getting approximately, well, you're not getting far off from the expected career performance of a second round pick in substantially less games. So it could actually turn out being perfectly accurate because 56 games times 3. Maybe, I don't know. Because 56 games is a third. No. Yeah, so I think then they're actually getting better value than a second round pick in the market. Just from what I can tell here. And thanks, Chris Lee, for the compliment there. I didn't notice I was trying to pay attention to what I was doing here. But thanks for the compliment. I'm hoping this is making sense too. I'm assuming it is since you complimented me there. But yeah, so anyways, so what I was saying here, I think in the end, because they're getting similar points in less games, I would say that the value they're getting out of second round picks on the market is better. It seems like that. I don't know if, again, because my brain's kind of cloudy from dealing with so much data and then trying to talk afterwards, if I'm actually correctly seeing this, but I believe so. So that's for second round picks. Moving to third round picks, we've got, we'll move this all up here. Sorry, bear with me. We'll move this up too. Okay, so for third round picks, the market is saying that a third round pick is worth 28 games, 2 goals, 5 assists, 6 points. I know the math doesn't equal out because we're not doing the total of goals plus assists equals points. We're actually multiplying the points column by anyways. So if the math doesn't quite add up, it's just because of the way we're referencing cells here, but it's close enough. 6 points is basically 7 points. It's the same thing. Anyways, so on the market, teams are spending, so for a third round pick, they're expecting to get back approximately, or they are getting back 28 games, 2 goals, 5 assists, 6 points. The expected career value of a third round pick is 115 games, 16 goals, 26 assists, and 42 points. Now this one, let's do it this way. And I could actually go back to the second round picks, but we won't bother because I think it was accurate enough and there's no point in talking too much about it. So 115 games divided by 28 games that they're paying for is a factor of 4. So 4 times the goals is, I don't need to do the math. So 4 times the goals is 8 goals, which is, they're getting half the expected value of a third round pick because like we were seeing here, it's 16 is the expected value. 4 times the assists is 20 assists, so it's close to the same value on assists. And 4 times 6 is 24, so it's not quite the value. So on the market, they're getting less value for a third round pick than the expected career value of the player based on that, assuming I did my math right, and I think I did. So you know what, since I just did it, I might as well just confirm that I did in fact not make a mistake on the second round picks here. So give me a sec here. So 56. So 148 divided by 56 is a factor of 2.6. 2.6 times 13 goals is 34. So yeah, the career value, they're getting way better value on goals. 2.6 times 18, way better value on assists, and then clearly they're getting way better value on points as well. So I was correct in my mental math / analysis of that. So we know third round picks, they're not getting good value. First round picks were approximate equal value, you could say. And again, I mean, this is not perfect science, and the sample size is 5 players, 4 players, or 1 player for a first round pick. So just take this with a grain of salt. But it's close enough and gives us some information anyways to consider. So we did third. Did we do fourth? I forget if we did fourth. We did, because the math didn't add up, right? 2 and 5 is 7. 2 and 4 is... No, so we didn't do fourth. So my bad. One sec. So, fourth round picks, the value teams are getting for a fourth round pick is 22 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Now, we know that the career value of a fourth round pick is 124 games, 16 goals, 25 assists, 41 points. So let's figure out the factor here. So 124 divided by 22 is a factor of 5.6. 5.6 times 2 goals is approximately a career value of 11 goals. So they're getting less value on a fourth round pick than the expected value. That times 4. So the career value of a fourth round pick, they're just shy of it again. And then in effect, obviously, points will be not good enough value. So on the market, a fourth round pick is not getting good enough value compared to what they would get from a fourth round pick's career expected value. So there's the fourth round pick. We might as well go through all of them. I mean, we've only got 3 more. I've already dedicated so much time to this as it is, and we might as well just go through all of them. And then I have one last thing to talk about afterwards, once we're done this. So the reason I'm saying that out loud is so I don't forget, because there was something else I wanted to talk about. Okay, so now the value that the market's getting for a fifth round pick is 17 games, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. So we take the expected career performance, 108, divided by the 17 games they're actually getting. It's a factor of 6. 6 times... Actually, I can just do the math on this. So 6 times 2 is 12. So actually, they're getting better value here because it's 6.3. So the market's getting better value on a fifth round pick than they would get the career value. 6 times 3 assists is 18 assists, so slightly less from the assist standpoint. And then we might as well do, so what is that? We'll actually do the math on points because I think this one, since it's both ways, goals has been better for the market, assists worse than career value, and we'll see with points too. I want to get the exact amount. So 6 times, whoops, wrong number, times 5. So the market is getting just shy, so basically right on value of a 5th round pick right now based on this sample size. Next we'll move to 6th round pick. So the market's paying for 16 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. The career expected performance is 11 goals, 19 assists, 30 points. And just visually, it looks like they're not getting proper value out of their 6th round picks. Let's just do for points to make sure. So we've got 87 games divided by 16 times 4 points. So they're getting wait, give me a second here. My brain just did a brain fart and I completely lost track of what I was doing. What was I doing? Did I screw something up? This is a struggle. Was I doing that right? Times 4, 21. Yeah. So I think that's right. Anyways, so they're getting less value on the market than the career value for a 6th round pick, assuming I did the math right. Yeah. And then 7th round pick. Man, this is torture because my brain's not functioning anymore. Okay. All right, so for a 7th round pick, they got 29 games played, 5 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. What they would actually get from a 7th round pick is 79 games, 10 goals, 17 assists, 28 points. And so I think they're getting better value on 7th round picks here. So we take 79 divided by 29 equals that times 5 goals. So they're getting approximately 13 goals, and that times 12, 32 points. So yeah. So, anyways, so like I was saying, so basically they're getting this value because it's just typically for one season. I think now I'm confusing myself. Anyways, I hope it all makes sense. I just can't think anymore. I think it does make sense, and I'm not going to talk more about it because I'm confusing myself. Uh, yeah. So, anyways, like I said, we'll leave it there because like I said, I'm confusing myself, and I don't want to confuse myself anymore. And I think it all makes sense, anyways. So, okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about is the but is that even really going to be applicable? So what I wanted to talk about was the um, required compensation for an offer sheet because that's another way to get the approximate value of draft picks. So we'll pull that up. And so I can do that because I can compare some other work that I've done. So bear with me a second. I'm going to have to pull something else up, and then I can actually do what I wanted to do here. Man, my brain's in a fog. It's because I've been doing this almost 3 hours, and it was supposed to only be... I thought it was going to be like half an hour. Okay. I want player expectations. I think that's it. That's not going to give us a salary amount, but I think that's okay anyways. So we'll do this. Move that, move this. Oh, no, actually, I want a different spreadsheet. My bad. One sec. We want... Where is it? Salary stats? Is that it? Players, goalie... Is this the right one? Cost per goal. Well, anyways, I can share screen. I just don't know which of these tabs I'm going to use. But anyways, that's not your problem. That's my problem to figure out. All right, so we know this is the offer sheet calculator from CapFriendly. And this should be correct, I think. So no compensation is required if somebody signs an offer sheet to a player and they don't match, and the salary is between $1 and 1.39 approximately million average annual average value, whatever. So yeah, that one doesn't really help us. So a third round pick has a salary between that. And we know that, so a third round, we'll go by salary first. So we know that the salary of a $2.1 million up to $4.2 million player is somewhere around 15 goals. Or I guess, yeah, we'll go by the largest value. So it would be the sixth best forward on your team who would produce 15 goals, 20 assists, and 35 points approximately in a season. Oh, sorry, we're looking at the second round pick, my bad. So anyways, a second round pick for that kind of performance, and then we want to contrast it with the market. So for a second round pick, they're currently spending on a second round pick is 56 games, 13 goals, 18 assists, 31 points. So 15 goals, 20 assists, 35 points. So in terms of what you would get if you offer sheeted so if you offer sheeted a player making $4 million, was it? Up to 4.2, it would cost you a second round pick, and a second round pick on the market would get you 56 games, 13 goals, 18 assists, and 31 points. Mind you, you're also getting the player for however long the offer sheet's for. So not only are you getting better value on a second round pick for performance, you're also getting longer term than what the market's paying. I hope that makes sense, but it makes sense to me at least. So anyways, so in that case, an offer sheeted player, assuming they don't match, you're getting good value offer sheeting the player, assuming you're paying a fair salary for the player's performance, if that makes sense. So anyways, I don't think it's worth it to go through all these because we don't know what value, so we don't know what the performance they're getting on those offer sheets are, so we can't really say if they're getting appropriate value out of offer sheeting a player. But essentially we know from those that's another way to determine the value of a draft pick. So we know that a third round pick is worth a player that's worth a contract of 1.386 up to 2.1. We know that a second round pick is worth a player approximately 2.1 up to 4.2. So in that case, assuming you're paying an appropriate salary for the player that you're offer sheeting, then the value you have to give up of that draft pick is really cheap, is what I would argue in most cases. Yeah, I think in all cases. And let's just, for argument's sake, take a look at this. So you guys can't see this, so I'll have to move it over. So the value of offer sheeting a player at 10.5 million is 4 first-round picks. 4 first-round picks. Where were we here? We want draft pick performance. Okay, so if you offer sheeted a player at or greater than 10.5 million per season, it would cost you 4 first-round picks. The 4 first-round picks would have a career value of whoops, wrong one here. 247 games played, 50 goals, 81 assists, and 131 points. And the per season value would be 49 games played, 10 goals, 16 assists, 26 points. So basically what that would mean is the production of the player that you would have offer sheeted, if you're going to give up 4 first-round picks, should produce 4 times this annual expected performance. So they should produce 40 goals. What's 4 times 16? 64 assists. And what was it again? So about 104 points per season. Now, that's just where we're just ballparking it, and we're not factoring in the career values. So that's just to give you an idea of approaching it from the offer sheet perspective of the value of draft picks and comparing it to expected, well, in this case, annual performance of a first-round pick, if that makes sense. So, anyways, a couple different ways, and thankfully, I'm sorry to be thankful to be done doing this stream. It's supposed to be entertaining and interesting, which it is. It's just that my brain's mush now, and I can't think. So that's 2 different perspectives, one taking substantially longer than I wanted it to take, and another one quite quick and I think relatively simple to explain and demonstrate and so on. So yeah, so that's it for this stream. And to kind of summarize, so generally speaking, the market's not getting good enough value out of their trades for draft picks. That's generally speaking based on an extremely small sample size. Yeah, and it's kind of a small sample size because to break down trades involving a first round, a 4th round, and a prospect for a roster player that produces X amount of performance, and then turning and then considering that performance from the trade deadline to the end of the year. Like, I mean, there's way too much. It's way too complicated to go and break down comparing the value to determine, what people are actually paying versus what they're getting. Way too complicated. So we kept it simple, although it wasn't simple, and had a small sample size to give us an idea, generally speaking, of market value versus actual value. And so anyways, so just some different perspectives to consider the value of draft picks. And in summary, generally speaking, like I said, the market's not getting good enough value on draft picks, excluding, I think we only saw, the first and second round pick where they got decent value, but the sample size was extremely small for the first round pick, and second round pick wasn't very large as well. And in terms of offer sheet value, assuming you're getting the production that you would expect from paying the salary, it seems like on the high end where you're getting probably close to the value of the picks, and on the low end you're probably getting better value in the player that you're offer sheeting than the draft pick you're giving up. But the problem is if you're getting good value, people are going to match the offer sheet, in which case you're not going to get the player. So then it kind of doesn't actually make the value correct in terms of what you would give up, because you're not giving it up because the people matched. So anyways, I hope that makes sense. And like I said, just a few different perspectives of the value of draft picks from a market value perspective, as opposed to the performance value perspective that we did yesterday. So we'll leave it there. I hope it all made sense. If you like the stream, hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe, turn on notifications. Otherwise, channel homepage has upcoming streams. Should be 2 p.m. Eastern daily, except for Sundays. And as you've seen the past couple days, I've adjusted the timing because I've done multiple shorts, and I'm just trying to space out all my content a similar amount. So it's not that I couldn't make it at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's that in the way that all my content came out, I didn't want it to be all bunched together. So that's why I adjusted the schedule. My apologies if you're expecting me to be here at 2 p.m. It's probably going to be the exact same thing the next few days of the week because of the trade deadline and the number of things that happen, and as a result, the number of pieces of content that I'm going to be putting out. And so expect that tomorrow is probably going to be 2:15 p.m. Eastern, and likewise for Thursday, Friday, like I said, and like you'll see on my channel, I'm going to be doing a longer form stream for the trade deadline day. Thankfully, won't be doing all this math and calculations and stuff, so it's going to be way easier for me to just, talk and not get cloudy brain. So thankfully, I look forward to being able to not feel like a complete idiot when I'm trying to put my thoughts together. So anyways, so that's what's going to happen on Friday, but the days before, to be honest, just anticipate that it's going to be 2:15 p.m. Eastern. Otherwise, that's it for updates. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments. I really appreciate all the interaction that I've had here. Thank you, Caleb and Chris, for commenting. Sorry, Chris. Actually, I hope you're still in the stream, because just to end the stream, I'll take a look at the or if you're not in the stream, Chris, I hope you can come back and see my response here. I'll talk about that trade just before I close off. And sorry, what I was saying is if you have any comments, leave them in the comments. Suggestions the same. And I will, in fact, pull up that trade and comment on it. So just give me 1 sec here. And hopefully, Chris, you're still tuned in. Or you'll come back and see this. But I'll pull up the trade and comment on it now. Where is it here? Wow, there's been a number of trades since I started the stream. Okay, so where are we at here? So we've got, Eric Gustafson and a first. It's a Boston first round pick, so the value is not that high, but all things considered, it's still a first. And Gustafson for Sandin. Now, give me 1 second. I'm going to take a look at the value of these players here and in order to comment. So, Sandin has a year remaining after this year, and his status on expiration is RFA, so they've got control of the player too. So that's pretty good value. He was a first round pick. Past 2 seasons he's produced, which are the only seasons where it's essentially been full seasons. 5 goals approximately in the season. 15-ish points. Or sorry, assists and 20-ish points. But his season's still not done, and so it's going to be more this season than the average between the two. So I mean, first round pick. So what's his background? Did he play World Junior or anything? He did. Played quite well, very well in both World Juniors. Very good in the OHL. Very good in the AHL as well. And extremely well in the AHL playoffs. So I'd say Sandin as a player, he looks very promising. So to trade him, I mean, you better get a lot back. I already know what they got back, but I'm going to consider, because I don't know what Gustafson, his contract is. You're getting rid of a really good player, and I don't know if I like that idea. I don't think I would have gotten rid of him. You're getting back Gustafson at a low cap hit. Okay. So you've got cap space in comparison, what is it, half the salary almost? Yeah, basically half the salary. Expiring contract, so it's a rental. You're getting like half a point per game, approximately, out of a defenseman, which is quite good. That's really good performance out of a defenseman, but it's a rental. And then you're getting the first round pick more or less back, which was Sandin. But Sandin's a certain value player versus an uncertain pick. So a rental and an uncertain first round pick for a certain young player that looks very promising. I don't know what I think of that, actually. That's a really interesting trade. So my first instinct is to say that I'd prefer what Washington got. Because long term, you would expect that Sandin would have good value. So essentially, what you're paying for is the rental value of Gustafsson and a first round pick moving forward for Sandin's career value, whatever you would sign him for. I would, what would I say? With Gustafsson, Toronto has a better chance at a cup, that's for sure. With their other moves also factored in, they're going to be competitive against Boston and Tampa. I still like Boston and Tampa more, even with these trades. But Toronto's a lot better this year with these trades. They get the other guys for extensions, but I guess I'm getting off point because those are other trades, or one other trade. But those do matter because we're caring about if we win this season too, I guess. Okay, so what I would argue is that although Sandin's production this season is less than Gustafsson, man, I don't even know if that's a fair argument. Because what I was going to say is in the long run, Sandin might approach Gustafsson's usual performance, or maybe even could be better. And you have control of them, at least for, the next few years. But, see, this is where the problem with that argument is that the first round pick could turn into a whole number of different things. We just spoke of what the value of a first round pick career wise would be. But for example, if a first round pick could turn into, it wouldn't be because it's a low first round pick because Boston's going to finish high probably. What I was going to say is you're not going to get a McDavid, but a late first round pick is still, in all likelihood, going to be a good player. So, because in effect what you could get is you could trade away Sandin, get Gustafsson as a rental, and then essentially redraft Sandin. But you don't have the certainty that you have in Sandin. I'd say, at the very least, it's extremely interesting. Toronto is running out of time because of expiring contracts, at the very least, to compete for their cup. Also, their draft pick pool is extremely small now. So they get to compete and they refill a spot, but they lose a valuable young asset. That's a tough one. So, okay, because I don't think Toronto's as good as Boston, Tampa. And then not only that, but they have to get past Boston, Tampa, and then whoever else on the other side of the Eastern Conference. So Carolina, New York, Rangers, could be the Islanders, could be Pittsburgh, could be New Jersey. It could be a whole bunch of different teams. I still don't know if Toronto's as good as, but I keep forgetting about them picking up O'Reilly and Lafferty. Yeah, you know what? I think Toronto wins this trade, even though I would not want to get rid of Sandin. If they kept Sandin, they might not be as competitive this year. And then it's like, I don't know if it's good that they would have. Yeah, because they want to be. I mean, what they're trying to accomplish is to be competitive this year. So that's part of the essentials of a trade, is to be competitive this year. And then they get back a first round pick. It's a late first round pick probably, but it's a first round pick nonetheless. And so they can more or less refill Sandin, but next year they're without Gustafson in theory unless they re-sign him. And they're also going to be without Sandin. So, but they just picked up what's his name, McCabe, and he still has term. So I think in the end, I think Toronto really wins this trade across the board. It just feels weird for me to say that because they're getting rid of a sure value player in Sandin. So just factoring in absolutely everything that's going on all at once, because in this case it matters, I think Toronto wins the trade. I think they do a very good job, in fact, with this trade, because they are going to be one of the top competitive teams for the Cup this year, I think. Now that I remember about, O'Reilly and then the rest of the stuff that they have. So, yeah. So anyways, I hope that, Chris, if you did hang around, I hope that you liked the fact that I talked about the trade. Found it interesting. And then if you come back, I hope you, same thing. I hope that you enjoyed my thoughts on it. But anyways, so now we can end it after an extremely long stream, much longer than I wanted. So that's it for today. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully with a much shorter stream, because it's more of going to be a summary, I think, in the end, partially what I did today, but we're going to talk about a number of other things as well. So anyways, so thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, probably at 2:15 p.m. Eastern.